Hello, hello, hello! Greetings, salutations, konnichiwa, and every other form of greeting across this vast, marvelous multiverse. I am Matsu Quinox. This is Horace, and welcome back, my dear, marvelous, wonderful scholars, to the study. Hello there, congratulations on getting first Cool Skeleton, and welcome Cool Skeleton, wonderful to see you. And hello there, Yulin20, welcome, 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 welcome. Oh my goodness. Once again, full of energy in the beginning, we're just see it slowly drip down bit by bit till it's gone. Oh, hello there, Dr. Zadium, welcome, good to see you also. Yo ho ho. This isn't a puppet game, is it? This isn't a pirate game, not puppet. Pirate game, is it? This isn't a pirate game, is it? Well, I know I played it before, but you never know. Well, it's good to see you again, Dr. Zadium. Oh my goodness. Everyone's coming in today. Oh, how have all you dear, wonderful scholars been doing? Hmm? I hope things have been good. As for me, I get the distinct feeling that something's gonna happen this weekend. Horace is acting very suspicious. You're acting very suspicious, Horace. Which is an odd thing for me to say because you wouldn't think I would say something directly to someone who's being suspicious as asking them if they were acting suspicious. Very suspicious. Julian20, wonderful. Dr. Zadium, doing all right. Hello there, Private Maverick. Welcome. Private Maverick, evening. Well, good evening, Private Maverick. Why did I stop that? Julian20, something going on? Cool Skeleton, what's happening this weekend, Matsu? I'm not sure what's happening. I know something's happening on Friday, but there's something. I'm not sure. There's a feeling, something in my ethereal form that something happens on Saturday. I don't know what it is. It's very odd. It's going to bother me all this evening, morning, afternoon, or whatever time it is here in the study. It's best I just put it out of my mind. Whatever it is, Julian20, hopefully it is a good thing. Well, I hope it's a good thing. I mean, it's very easy to get bad things stuck in your mind. I mean, bad memories and stuff like that. And that happens to me once in a while, but I try to push it back. But I hope this is a good thing. For the, I can't think of what it might be, honestly. Anyway, so tonight, my dear scholars, we're gonna put Metal Gear Solid on hold for another week. I thought it might be good to take a little break, just rest a little bit, relax. So I thought, we haven't gotten all the endings in the Stanley Parable. And so I thought, why not revisit the game and see if we can unlock more endings? And if not, it might be fun just to, replay a few of the endings we got. I mean, many of them were really fun. And I remember people having a lot of fun with it. Cool Skeleton, Stanley went through the door on his left. I won't have any guarantees he'll do that. Private America, wise choice in taking a break from MGS. Yes, yeah, we need a break. We need a little week break. Excuse me. Julian20, and this time do anything you want. Oh, are you giving me permission, Julian20 now? Oh, look everyone, I've got Julian20's permission. Did you hear that? I can do whatever I want in this game. Cool Skeleton, go nuts. I plan to. I'll see how much chaos I can sow in this game. It'll be a little bit of it'll be fun. I mean, we all like, a little bit of that. So, my dear scholars, shall we head off to the gaming room and begin our replay through of the Stanley Parable? I should probably grab the controller. Gotta be careful with this thing. I don't want to. Oh, jeez. Oh, I have it right next to me. I'm always worried that I'm gonna grab it and it's actually accidentally gonna set off a button, and then it's gonna be, oh no. Okay, so let's head over to the game room and let's have some fun with this. I'll see you all there. Ooh, there we are. Okay, let me get the settings. Let me get settings going. No, no, that's not what I want. I don't want that. Ah, come on. No, no, don't delete save data. How do I... No, don't. Just do it this way. There we are. So if you could tell, this is not titled Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe like it was before. This is now the Stanley Parable 2, because we unlocked that ending, which changes the title. Which I rather like. I rather like that that happens. Excuse me. So I think we should begin. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is never, the end is... Oh, I wonder if we're going to unlock that ending again.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hello, Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
A good number.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427.
I just realized the music's a little loud.
Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push.
Why is the sound so... Hold on, hold on. Hold on. I think I have the volume too low.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Let's turn it up. The music volume can go down.
This is the story of a man.
Okay, back. Let's begin the game again. Oh, wait. Oh, narrator. What? Oh, it skipped it. I'm sorry, my dear scholars. Shall we... Let's quit to menu. Because it would be only fair for us. Let's begin the game, and let's hear the narrator again, because I didn't know that would happen. Ha ha ha.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Can you hear the narrator right now, my dear scholars?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
No?
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427.
Can you hear it all right?
Pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through
Can all of you hear the narrator?
telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Dear scholars, I need
This
to
is
know
what
this,
employee
so I
427
can know.
did every day of every month of every
Hold
year.
on.
And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders
Still low.
as
Why
though
is it
he'd
low?
been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
It shouldn't be low.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Oh, let's...
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour
Oh.
when he realized that not
I don't know why
one
it shouldn't be...
single order
What about it?
had arrived on
Can the rest of you
monitor
hear it
for
all
him to
right?
follow. No one had
Hello?
showed up to give him instructions, call a
My dear
meeting,
scholars?
or even say hi. Never
Hello,
in all
scholars?
his years at the company had this happened. This
Scholars?
complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid,
Hello?
Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so let's see the settings again. Audio... Like, I can turn the music volume down. I've got...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I've got the narrator sound up as far as I can now. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be. Now I'm confused. No, the narrator isn't saying anything. You can hear it faintly.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh, come on.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can you hear it all right, scholars?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Better. Okay, good, good. Is there a way I can... I know there's a jump button here somewhere. Oh! What? What just happened? Oh.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
What?
If a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
What?
He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere.
How did I end up in the office again?
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself.
Did I teleport?
Wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
I didn't do anything.
Happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by?
What just happened?
He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come.
I am so confused.
Someday, they would arrive.
I'm confused, my dear scholars.
Very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Now
it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer.
What'd I do?
Here it comes.
I'm so confused.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What did
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I think there was a way you could jump on things, though. Oh, you needed a... Oh, lovely mug there. Come on. I think there's a way. Now, guess we're going forward. Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. Okay. Oh, I think because we... Oh, yeah, we unlocked all the balloons and the figurine finding. There was... Oh, there we are. I thought there was a way you could do something with this. Better. Oh, wow, this is... Can you pop a balloon? I don't know. I've never tried to pop a balloon. There's a way to do anything. Go on. Go on. No, you cannot pop a balloon. Awaiting input. Ooh. Da 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 da. Oh, there's nothing. Why? I wish you could go in these rooms. Must be fun to be in these rooms. Very odd game. You can't open anything here. Oh, this part. Here we go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if we just stand here? I thought we could close these doors. I guess we can't. Try to oh, there's the... Why do we have a duck button? I can't remember why we have this button here. Could have sworn there was a way you could. I just gotta like this plant. I could have sworn there was something you could do. Try to double check something. Yeah. What are the... I'm double checking a few things, my dear scholars. Forward, back, left, right, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Resume the game. Wait, can we climb up here? Get well someday! I hope I can get well.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Everything's locked. They're locking away all the fun areas. I know there's a couple endings we didn't get. I'm trying to remember how you do it. I thought you could close the doors. I guess you can't. Oh,
Yes,
oh,
truly
come
a room
on.
worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
Well, let's
just
get
to
out of
spend
here.
a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I rather like the blue in this room. I mean, blue's a nice color, isn't it, Horace? We got a blue room here in the study.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Let's just stay in here.
Room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
What is wrong with
Really
these
worth
paintings?
it.
They're rather nice. Oh, hello there, Abs. Welcome. We are trying to find more endings to the Stanley Parable.
At this point,
It's good to
Stanley's
have you here.
obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
$1.25 for cold drinks?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
No. I mean, how many places can you find $1.25 cold drinks in a vending machine nowadays? I mean, really? That is cheap. That is so cheap. What is this? Abs, this is a good game. Very easy to make puns at. Don't you dare! Notepad. This is rather relaxing. I think the rest of the stream should just be us sitting in the lounge room. Don't you agree? I think I can get trigger one of them. Read what it says. Can't read it. Wow, a lot of people hate Mondays in this place. There's actually a couple games like this. There's another one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Diamond, the Tiger, and the Something, which I actually kind of want to play. I think it might have been made by the same developers as this one, and it'd be pretty interesting to play, I think. I might play that for another stream. And it has a similar theme to this game. So, if you had to redirect this lounge room, my dear scholars, what would you decorate it as? I think I'd keep it blue. Maybe add a little more stars on the walls. You know, make a little bit of. But I mean, look at this beautiful furniture. The narrator thinks this room is uninteresting, and yet it has this beautiful furniture in it. Abs, well, yeah, Mondays are the worst. They are the worst. I am not a fan of Mondays. I'm oddly enough not a fan of Fridays either, because those tend to be the busiest sort of days of the week. Thursdays aren't great either. Wednesdays are hit or miss. Tuesdays are kind of bland. Saturdays are alright if you can get a good one. Sundays are the end of the week, or the start of the week, so it's... So really, I'm not a fan of any of the days of the week, I suppose. I suppose we should make this guy happy.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing
It was
room
an amazing
and
room,
took
thank
the
you very
first
much.
open door on his left to get back to business.
Nope. Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
We're gonna go as far away from what they want us to do as possible. Really. Do not jump from the cargo lift while in motion will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift 1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift 5,000.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
Nope.
Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Pure pressure from a disembodied voice. Can't even jump off this. Why do they put a platform here if you can't actually climb up? Oh, wait, I can. Oh, well, I could. Cool Skeleton, sadly, I have another stream I must watch tonight. Have fun and see you later. Well, thank you for coming, Cool Skeleton, for just a little bit. Take care. Well, guess we'll trigger this first.
Whoops.
Ah!
Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Oh, fun. Wonderful.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
I don't think we've triggered this narration before. I think this is a first for us. I think there's a way we can go out the window. I thought there was a way we can go out the window, actually. I think I read somewhere. Oh, come on. I can duck, or I can crouch walk. Why would you want to crouch walk? And yet I cannot jump. Wait, did I turn off the computer? Could I do that before? Oh, didn't know I could do that. Wait. Wait. Oh, I did. There we are. I think we can... I think there's a way we can do this. Abs, I have a joke for you, Matsu. What's the joke, Abs? Am I gonna regret this? Oh, there we are!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along.
New ending! We got a new ending.
He praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Ab, why can't February,
Okay,
March?
I'm over it now.
Why
What do
can't
you think?
February,
Are you sick of
March?
this gag yet? Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky.
I think we can agree with that.
Now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Abs, why can't February, March? Why can't February, March? Abs, because April, May. Oh boy. That's a great joke, Abs. Thank you for delighting us with your sense of humor. Where am I? Well, we're stuck here. So the only way we can do is begin the game again.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle...
Yeah, we begin the game. We did that one. So we can.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Let's see if we can trigger that one thing again. There we are. Let's see what happens when we press the other. Okay, come on. Come on. I know you can do this. Come on. Come on, game. There we are.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken
Here
the
we
map
go again.
until he heard this narration and realized it was part
More.
of the game's
There we
design
go.
all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think?
Let's choose yes this next time.
Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game
Oh,
any old time
it's-
you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going
You
on
won't let
when
me
you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Oh, fun. Hello there, Kid Sean.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly.
What?
But the truth must be told, he was not very
What?
old and was quite
No.
particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was
What?
he pushed
Oh,
them
no.
like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way.
Oh, no.
But his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable. Lives an existence quite terrible.
Yay.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become
Oh,
quite
thank you.
unbearable.
What?
You too will become quite unbearable.
Oh, thank you, game. Is it gonna play again? I think actually the guitar music's quite nice. I don't know why he thinks this is irritating. This music's quite nice. Let's just drink it all in, my dear scholars. Just sit back, relax, have a hot or cold beverage, my dear scholars. Enjoy this music straight from the Stanley Parable. I should probably reset the game, I'm guessing. Yep, I think we've had enough.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wonder, can we duck? The bucket!
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
We have the bucket! We will protect the bucket. I forgot about the bucket. We have the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's see how far we can go off. We can start on the left and then we'll go off track.
This was not the correct way
Oh,
to the
went the
meeting
wrong
room,
way. I can't
but
tell.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
We must obey the bucket. The bucket is all. All hail the bucket. The bucket is everything.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct, was this better than the meeting room?
Yes.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Yes, bucket. I wish I could close that door.
No, never
The
mind.
bucket was...
The bucket was
The
wrong.
bucket is never wrong. Do not doubt the
Stanley
bucket.
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Do not doubt the bucket.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Just let us follow the bucket.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him.
Yes.
And he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
We are now ignoring the bucket.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Because the bucket belongs.
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior at this point. Which, if that's true, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
What? Okay. This is new. This is a new part, my dear scholars. I don't think we had this last time.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simply enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
I can't breathe.
Okay, let's begin.
I can't breathe.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Ugh.
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual.
What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D representation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
I need a drink of water.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Dizzy.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I think this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
I can't talk. Horace, you're gonna have to take over for me.
Is this a bucket?
Horace, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I need a moment. I need a moment. I need a moment. Horace, you're gonna have to take over for me. Okay, it's all in your hands, Horace. Okay, I'll just sit back. Horace,
Correct.
Wait, what?
This is a bucket.
Horace, how did you... What? How did you do that, Horace?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Look, I'll do this. I'll do the next one. I know what to do. I know what to do. Okay, Horace. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back, Horace. Taking it back. Okay. Okay. I'll do this next one, Horace. I'll do this next one. Okay. Ah,
Question.
yes.
Both.
What?
Okay.
What? What?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both say there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket. We both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be
Are you
something.
sure?
Unless, in your twisted mind, you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing. Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is?
I can't.
Am I a bucket?
I can't.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all...
What?
buckets
No!
entirely. Okay, here we go.
Aww.
What happened? Is everything gone?
Everything was a
Why did
bucket.
everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Everything was a
Every
bucket.
single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God.
Abs was right.
How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful.
We're not
We're
buckets.
not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now.
Well, I'm glad I
It's
could.
delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything, and we'll put back all of the buckets.
Okay.
And we'll know that it's
All
all
a
a bucket. But if you run into
Abs,
anyone
does
else,
this mean
don't
we're
even
all
mention
buckets?
it. Who
Yes,
knows
we are
what
all
that
buckets,
information might do
apparently.
to a person. All right, here we go.
We are all buckets. I am bucket. Horace is bucket. All is bucket. The bucket is all. All hail the bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do we want to take the bucket again or no? We'll skip the bucket this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Excuse me. My goodness. What's all this dust in this room? I really have to clean up the gaming room. Trust the completionist instinct? No. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nope. We're just gonna go on our own merry way this time.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This
Oh,
is
we
all
are
a
repeating
dream.
things.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
1, 2,
He thought to
B4.
himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
I
One
forgot
he
about
was
this
amazed
bit.
he hadn't asked himself
This is
sooner.
one we've triggered
Why
before.
is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
Possibly.
the truth was that, of course, this was not a
Then
dream.
how was he floating,
could it
going
be?
through the
Was
stars?
Stanley simply deceiving himself,
Excuse me.
believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
If only it was that
Let me
easy.
go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I
He's got a
want is
wife?
my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
Your life
I
is
am
not
normal.
normal.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, no.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh,
This is the story of a
yeah,
woman
I
named
remember
Mariella.
this.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her
Oh
place of
no!
work.
Yes.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man.
So
He
it was all a
obviously crazy.
dream?
This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people do. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
We could.
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. That was an ending. What would happen if we carried
Stanley knew
the
office
buckets
layout
throughout
like
the
back of his
entire
hand.
thing?
It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
Okay.
Just a matter of time.
No, I'm not going to take the bucket. We already did a lot with the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's break the rules
This was
again.
not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
Well,
I'm
no,
not.
obviously
I
not.
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something with zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Nope. We are just going to ignore the voice.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're connected properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see.
Oh yeah, this is
Help me
nice.
here, Stanley.
It's
Help elucidate these
orange.
strange and unknowable desires of yours.
I want an
What
orange
would have
room
made
like
this
this.
game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices?
No.
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the
I am
game could be
cruel to this
improved
game.
more fully express itself mechanically and
Excuse me.
artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I
Oh,
think I've knocked it out.
thank you
of
for
the park
coming,
with
Julian
this one.
20, and you
Let's
have a
take a
wonderful
look.
night. Oh yes, the leaderboard. And textures that are on.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through
Not
doors?
enough.
Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Oh, fun.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards
Nope,
danger.
not interested.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of
This is
family
so
life.
awful.
I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
Oh, fun.
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
This is all.
You heartless bastard. You can't do it because you hate babies or pure despite me. Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, Why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
I think I've triggered this one before.
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, yeah, I've triggered this before.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
Shall we continue
What is
this,
our motivation?
well, let's continue the past.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose.
Yes, this is Firewatch.
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Can we go back in? Won't let me. Won't trigger anything unless I go down there.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
Oh!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong direction.
Honestly,
no
open world
path to
games
follow.
make
You
me
can just go
nervous.
in any...
As much as they joke here.
Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Okay. Oh, this game, which I cannot remember the name of.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must.
Dr. Zane,
Okay,
Rocket League.
Stanley,
Yes, I
here's
think
the
this is
ball.
Rocket
Have
League.
fun.
Oh, no! Yes, I believe this is Rocket League, which I've never played.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable... Hold on. What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Well. Okay. Well, this is... make me feel a little nervous. Music. Oh. Light at the end of the tunnel. Or not. Huh. Hmm. interact with here.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it.
Spooky.
He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Excuse me.
I can wait.
Can you? Can you wait? I like it. Oh. Ah, here we are again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's grab the bucket
confusion
again.
and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley...
What happens if we go through the actual story with the bucket? I am really curious now. Let's see what happens.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
How can we find... Ah, yes, the Stanley figurines. Which, I think... I don't remember if they're hidden around here or not. I know they are in the funny little demo.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy is as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
Nope.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say.
No,
here.
it's my
supposed to go
bucket.
with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in.
No,
Don't
it's my
hand over the
bucket.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion.
Yes.
And lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no.
In fact...
The name calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom
yes,
closet
no,
has
no, no,
sunk
no.
that
I'm
it has
keeping
to
the bucket.
resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly
What?
deep and lasting friends.
Of course they are.
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and
No.
meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship
No.
towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never.
No.
Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning
Yes.
comments.
The bucket is mine.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
Yes.
Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
No, I'm keeping the bucket.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Yes.
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yes. The bucket is all important. In fact, I would say the bucket is even more important to me than even horror. It was a joke. It was a joke. I was making a. It was a bit for the. It was a bit for the stream. Horace, I didn't mean a word of it. Of course you're important to me, Horace. I mean, no mere bucket could possibly replace you. Okay, I'm just gonna keep playing it. I assure you, I was joking about the bucket. All right, all right, all right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Obviously, though, the bucket is very shiny. Oh, thank you for the raid, Lorelai. I can't talk tonight. Lorelai, and hello there, raiders. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am Matsu Quinox, Omniversal Interdimensional Librarian. We are playing the Stanley Parable. We are going through, we are trying to unlock some more endings, and we are having a bucket right now. Hello there, blah blah, welcome. Hello there, old ass, welcome. Lorelai, Haru Matsu. I unfortunately cannot stick around because my friends have been begging me to play this, and I can't have spoilers. I hope stream goes well. Oh, understood, understood. It is a magnificent game. You'll have a lot of fun with it. But, yes. For now, simply admire the bucket. The bucket. The wonderful bucket. The bucket is all. All hail the bucket! Alright, I'll be lurking just muted. Hail the bucket Sama. Yes, hail the bucket Sama. Hail! Hail! It's a very nice bucket too. Oh. Didn't know I could walk in here. Go down. Oh, hello there, Yoy. Hail bucket. Yes, hail bucket. We're gonna take the elevator down. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm blocked. Oh, thank you for the follow, Yoy. Welcome to our little group of scholars. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's always... Kinshawn, yes, but the bucket pales in comparison to Horace. Yes, Horace is marvelous, wonderful, and not at all angry at me about, you know, being more entranced with a bucket than him. Even the narrators, I didn't notice the narrator sings to this. What happens if I press up? Dr. Zame, did you miss the pun, Matsu? Pun? The pun. No! 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 Kidron, why? 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 Why must you do this to me? Why? Why?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
What happens if I keep putting her?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I don't think I've done this before.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Someone's some very crabby voice.
The bucket did not react, except perhaps a tiny glow of warmth. Subtle, yes, but an unmistakable spark
Aww.
from somewhere deep within.
It's quite nice.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
The bucket is all.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
I believe you can.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Is he gonna take the bucket away from me if I keep doing this?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Oh. It's just gonna...
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Oh, this game is a delight.
A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again? Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Nope. I'm going back up.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet.
Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
This game. Kintron. I'm not gonna say that, Kintron! You're not gonna trick me! Not again.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
I'm just so cruel to this game.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Maybe.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's keep going. No, let's keep going.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Actually, it seems rather dull.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
And that's a surprise how
Never seen anything
nowadays
like
that's
this,
just
and he
seems...
very nearly burst into tears as
Aw.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Would it?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one.
The bucket is all. The bucket is everything. The bucket is happiness.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and
But is there a
commanded
bucket
from this
button?
very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way. The bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power,
We're basically
Stanley
following
and
the
Bucket
original
knew
ending
it
you're
was
supposed
their
to do.
obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
The bucket is freedom. The bucket is goodness.
Stanley and the Bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the Bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from
I think this is another
tyrannical
ending I
grip of
didn't
the
get
evil
before.
mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The Bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd live together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the Bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the Bucket to leave.
No! No!
The facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the Bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the Bucket. It led not to part with the Bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious Bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the Bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my Bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I?
Yes.
Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Yeah, that's an ending we didn't trigger last time. Wait, what? This seems a little different. This is different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is different. I mean, this literally is... That's interesting. I wasn't expecting this.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, let's go right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That was a weird
Standing
thing.
now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Let's keep ignoring.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh,
There's someone
bet.
you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
The
Please,
bucket?
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
I don't
To
remember
reach
this.
out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember
Stanley,
this.
is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a
Oh,
loving
that is
wife
cruel.
who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah, this is new.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Huh. Good morning.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I can't press anything else.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Lovely.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
This is so depressing.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
No fun. I can't watch the... Where's the TV? Oh, there's the TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
I can't go back.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
It's actually
and down
describing...
another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Tell your wife you love her. Okay.
But there is no answer.
Oh,
how could
fun.
there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has.
Oh, fun.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Oh,
that
that's
as long as he
joyful
remains
way to
here,
look.
he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. I'm not pushing the buttons, my dear scholars. Not pushing the buttons. Completely ignoring this game. Ignoring the game. Not pressing buttons. And I'm gonna have to press a button, aren't I?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
What?
And Stanley pushed a button.
What?
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What? What? Okay, that's a depressing ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mug. Okay, I think we're going to try one more, see if there's any more things we can do, and then I am going to stop for now. I'm going to take the bucket again.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
So there's a bit there that I want to see.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There was a bit there that I want to see what happens. But there we are. We didn't find any other figurines.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
What happens if I go downstairs? No. We'll go upstairs first, and then if we have to repeat this, we'll go downstairs. It was 2856.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it.
What was it?
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender
there was
spiritual
one little bit
connection
that I
he shared
was.
with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of
nice
simply being
office.
near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I was close. Oh, hit the wrong one.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
All hail the bucket. Because there is a way. There is a path down. Bucket makes everything better.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay, let's do this.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
No, I'm gonna keep going.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Yep. Huh. fun.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and
Oh,
comfort had
come
turned
on.
out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere.
There's nothing wrong with carrying a bucket.
Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led
Ah,
hopelessly
yes.
into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was
No,
crushed violently to death.
bucket.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Ah, yes, the museum. Oh my goodness, now there's that. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through the use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Ooh, I love a good museum. We have a few museum rooms here in the study.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and
Look
to
at the
claim it for his
buckets.
own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be
So
in his
much
short life?
buckets. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Inferno Bucket. A replica of the Inferno Bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains. No one can control a bucket. That is apparently true, as I am learning the hard way. The stress bucket, an analogy. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. Let's see. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance, stress, the level of water in the bucket. Vulnerability, size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies, holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. I actually really like this. This is nice. Oh, this is interesting. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Oh my goodness. That is a very useful bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
All hail the bucket. The bucket is all. The hanging bucket. This place symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance inevitably is for our own good. Oh. Wait, I can... I took the
But
bucket.
there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die.
No, what?
Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let
Yes!
Stanley die together.
All
I
hail
shall
the
take his
bucket.
place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision of
Ah. Well, there you have it. All hail the bucket. And I'm going to stop there. I think that's a good place to stop for now. Let me just turn down the audio. Starting over without bucket, I'm crushed. Ah, come on! Why do I keep falling for that? Ah, I'll see you all in the chat area to close out this evening. Oh my goodness. Ah, here we are. Oh my goodness. Well now, we have all been blessed by the mighty bucket. All hail the bucket. The bucket is almighty. Oh my goodness. Oh, it takes so much energy to deal with the bucket, isn't it? All hail the bucket. I hope you had some fun tonight, my dear scholars. So, I should announce. So, we are not going to be doing a stream this Thursday, because instead, this Friday, we're doing a very special collab to celebrate our, well, my 2-year anniversary of being a streamer, as well as maybe another marvelous thing that happened soon. Kinshon Cast, yes! I am collabing with several of my fellow VTubers. We are going to be playing Among Us as well as Golf with Friends. I am a little bit nervous, but we will be having a lot of fun, and hopefully there'll be a lot of laughs involved as well. Oh my goodness, it's I'm really excited to do this. This is going to be a first for me, so I'm really excited. Oh, as you can see, I'm out of breath already just thinking about it. But look forward to that. That'll be Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Oh, well, before we get before we get overtaken by the bucket once more, let's see if there is anyone we can raid tonight. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let me see if there's. You know what? It's been a while. Let's raid Polly Casterline tonight. She is playing, I believe, Persona 3 Portable. Might be fun. We haven't raided her for a while. So, my dear scholars, I say unto you, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Till we meet each other again at the study. Take care, and I shall see you next time. Till then, farewell and bye-bye.